If you're looking for a bump in performance and efficiency for your 2019 or newer 5.3-liter Silverado 1500, this Corsa Performance closed box cold air intake with the Donaldson PowerCore dry filter is a mod that you'll want to check out. Now, this cold air intake is a solid option for the Silverado owner who wants freer flowing air compared to the restricted factory system to improve their truck's drivability and performance day to day, but also some of the cleanest airflow that you can get thanks to the PowerCore filter that's included in this kit. Now, the system here is great for dustier areas, harsher conditions, and even if you're using your truck all the time, especially if it's for work and feel like you need to replace your filter more often than not. Now, this intake by Corsa is a no maintenance and no tune required system with a surprisingly long filter rating. So if you want a performance intake that you can essentially set and forget, this system has that all. Now, this has some key features that sets this apart from the rest in the category, and one of the biggest components here is the PowerCore filter. Now, it's not like a traditional dryer oiled reusable filter. This option is not cleanable, it's not reusable, but it does have roughly a 150,000 mile lifespan, or a maintenance interval of that time, which is multiple times longer than an oiled or reusable dry filter. Now, dry filters are great for microcontaminants. They have a high filtration rate, but because of the tight packing here, it has a higher filtration efficiency than the average filter. It also has a straight through style intake tube for unobstructed airflow and more of it, considering there is a small bump in sizing here for increased performance. Now, the intake also features an airbox style design for additional protection, especially against water or larger debris that sneaks inside of the engine bay or even hot engine bay air, and it comes with a clear sight window to keep an eye on this filter while simultaneously adding a sporty look, especially with that stainless hardware that bolts it in and the Corsa branding. Now, the housing and the tubing are made of a cross-linked polyethylene material, durable against hot engine bay temperatures and rigid enough to stay in place, and does not hold heat, keeping the air inside of the tubing and the housing cool. Now, again, the filter included will be a dry filter made of a packed media that does not require maintenance over time thanks to its construction. This kit also comes with all of the hardware needed for a straightforward install: heat-resistant silicone couplers, stainless steel clamps, and a tough sight window, as well as all of the odds and ends for a hassle-free install. This is about $475 and is one of the more premium choices for a cold air intake, and that comes with the benefits of this system and what it brings to the table compared to other entry-level choices. Now, not only will this have a very protective construction with the closed airbox design, but it also has a dry filter that lasts almost 4 times longer than the average filter. Now, if low maintenance is what you're looking for out of a filter and you also want some solid protection if you're tough on your truck, then this is going to be a solid choice for you. Install here is a 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, being fairly straightforward and should only take about an hour or so to get. Now, at this point, I'm going to hand it over to one of our installers. They're going to show you a detailed breakdown on how you can get this installed on your Silverado at home. So that's going to wrap it up for what I have to say. Let's go ahead and get into the install.
For this install, you need a 3/8 ratchet, a couple extensions, an 8mm socket and T15 socket, and a Phillips head screwdriver. All right, today we're gonna be installing an intake on our Silverado, so let's get started. All right, so we're gonna start here with our vent tube. We're gonna disconnect it from our airbox first. We're just gonna simply push down this tab and pull off. Now, the other half is gonna be on the valve cover. You just need to rotate it a little bit to get to that same type of release and lift that off. All right, so we're just still working our way basically towards the driver's side. Now, we have our clamp down here that's on our throttle body. It's probably hard to see. We're just gonna grab our ratchet, 8mm socket and extension, and we're just going to loosen this up so we can get it off of our throttle body. All right, so that's loosened up. Once we get our other clamp off, we can remove our first half of our airbox. So we're going to come to our other clamp here. It's just on the back side, same thing, 8mm socket, loosen that up. We're also just going to disconnect our mass airflow sensor, just to help get that out of the way. So red locking tab, pull that back and push down on the release and pull back. We're gonna pull this off of our airbox and off of our throttle body and just remove this and take this out of the way. So now we can take out our mass airflow sensor. I have my ratchet and a T15 socket. take these 2 screws out. All right, so since this new intake only replaces the top half of our box, we just need to remove our lid. So there are 3 8mm screws, one here, and then one on the back side that you can't see, but they're all the same. Take our ratchet extension 8mm socket, take those 3 out. We're gonna remove our lid and our factory air filter. So we're now gonna get our air box installed. As you see, everything came assembled. The filter is in there. We have our cover already on. We're just gonna set this in place. We have our 3 tabs that lock in on our bottom air box there. Slide that in place. We have our 3 screws that we took out of our factory air box. Just gonna get them started in the 3 spots. And then the one back here. Get that started with this. I did have to add in our extension just because this air box is a little taller. Go ahead and tighten these all down. All right, so we're gonna get our pipe on now. We're gonna get our pipe on our air box loosely, and then we're just gonna spin this up, install our mass airflow sensor, and spin it down onto our throttle body. We're gonna grab our larger our larger coupler that has the same size on both sides. I have one of our clamps over it already. Slide this over our intake tube. Grab our other clamp. Just rest that over, and then push that over our air box. Just let that rest like that right now. We'll spin that up. We're gonna grab our mass airflow sensor, and there's a supplied gasket with it. Just make sure you line up the holes properly. There we go. We're gonna set this in our air box like so. Just make sure that it is facing the right direction. Then we have 2 supplied Phillips head screws. We're gonna thread in. Grab your Phillips head screwdriver and tighten those down. Go ahead and tighten these all the way down. We're gonna spin this back down and get our second coupler on. So as you can see, I have our second coupler. I already have our clamps rested over. Just gonna get this over our intake tube. Stretch that over. And then push onto our throttle body. Now all the other clamps may need to be adjusted just to make sure everything is the right angle. Just like that. All right, now we're gonna go back and tighten all of our clamps and plug in our mass airflow sensor. So I have my ratchet extension and 8mm socket. We'll tighten down these 2 clamps first. Plug in our mass airflow sensor. Make sure you secure down that red locking tab on it. And then our 2 clamps on our throttle body. Lastly, we just have our breather hose. Now there are no clamps for this, they simply just push over. So we're gonna slide it over our valve cover, get that over that ridge. You need to just twist it down so it locks on, and then push it down onto our intake. Just like that. And that wraps up our install of our Corsa Performance closed box cold air intake with a Donaldson PowerCore dry filter for our 2019 and newer 5.3 liter Silverado 1500. And remember, for everything Silverado, keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.